There we
Oh,
go.
now
There
we
we
are.
go. Okay.
I didn't hit it hard enough, I guess.
Okay, let me start real briefly here. In my searching for tools to use as resources, I found this really neat search system, and it's called file type colon whatever file extension you want to search. In this case, I did PDF, but you can do PowerPoint or Word or whatever. And then the subject, see macro photography. And it came up with just a very, I'd call it unique search of lots and lots of presentations that were made either by photography clubs, universities, everything about that subject that's out there on the net. And I thought it was such a neat tool that I would share it. So that's the end of that. I hope you
Super.
hope you
That's
can pick
super.
up on it. I'll post it on the web page. So this is my presentation. I'm gonna make you guys all thing here. So let's hit play, see how we do.
Nice.
So this is about macro photography. And we'll start off with a little bit of a definition, some types of photography through macro, talk about some equipment, composition, and then some random thoughts. So the definition of a macro photography is taking a photograph which has at least a 1-to-1 reproduction ratio. And a macro lens is defined as a lens that has that 1-to-1 ratio, and it's primarily a prime lens. So it's like I have a 90mm macro lens. Oops, which way are we going here? My mouse at. Then there's three factors that we have to look into or appreciate. One is aperture, and the effects that this has on our picture taking is that the larger the aperture, or the bigger the hole in the aperture, the less depth of field we get. And then the focal length, or the distance from where your lens is to the sensor, also has an effect. And the longer the focal length of the lens, the less depth of field you're going to get. And then the distance between the subject and the camera, the closer your subject is, the less depth of field you will get. And then the inverse of those is also true, and you'll get greater depth of field. And then a combination of that is what we play with. In macro photography, actually all photography, the minimum focusing distance is defined as the shortest distance between the subject and the sensor that stays in focus. For instance, my 90mm lens has a minimum focusing distance of 0.28 meters or 0.92 feet or roughly 11 inches. So then how do we get there? Well, there are different ways of taking macro photography. One is to use a macro lens. I don't know why my mouse doesn't show up here. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, the Sony 90mm is an example of a macro lens. You can get them 85, 100 millimeters. Then the zoom lens camera, several of the members of our group have the zoom lens camera. This is a Canon PowerShot. Then the telephoto lens. This is the big 200 by 600 millimeter lens, and that can be used for macro photography as well as distance photography. Then we have some additional toys, gadgets that can be used. We have a close-up lens. We have extension tubes that go in between the camera and the lens. We have a focusing rail, and we have a Bluetooth remote. Oh, come on. No, I don't know what the heck here. So a close-up lens is a secondary lens fitted to the front of, should be your lens, to help magnify the subject. Think of putting a magnifying glass or shooting a picture through a magnifying glass. And then extension tubes are just hollow tubes which go between the lens and the camera. And it effectively moves the optics further away from the sensor. So when you do that, you get a different image resolution on the sensor. And then a focusing rail. This is a device that goes between your camera and your tripod. And it mounts on there, and then you manually move your camera forward or backward on this rail, and you select the subject and focus on, for instance, the very front of the subject, like the nose on a person or a petal on a flower, and then take a picture, and you incrementally move the camera closer and take more photos. Then you combine those photos in post-processing to make a composite image, and this is called photo stacking. What the heck? Then the next tool that's I've found to be very successful and very useful is the Bluetooth remote. And this is hooked to the camera through Bluetooth. It controls all the camera's functions remotely. And that positive and negative button at the top can be used to control either the zoom or the focus. And then, so you can mount your camera stationary on a tripod and do essentially the same thing that the rail did, but you're just bumping up the focus to get a different, move that plane through the subject. So you take a picture, hit the plus button 3 times, take another picture, hit it again 3 times, another one 3 times, and then it just take all those and stack them together in post-processing. So those are different methods. Let's go out and take some pictures. And so you choose the appropriate equipment, your camera, your lens, your tripod, and your accessories, and you head on out there and you're going to take pictures. So what are some things you have to consider? It's like you have to look at the lighting. You know, where's your subject at relationship to the sun, or maybe some other external light source, a window, or a flashlight, or just about anything. And then you have to get comfortable. It can't be in an odd position like most photography, but these are going to be close to a small subject. maybe an ant or a fly, or Doug has a thing for slugs. So I guess he likes slugs because they don't run away. But there you
Very
come.
fascinating.
Then what's behind your picture that you're taking? Do you follow some good composition rules? Can you set the picture up so that it's going to be attractive once it's taken? And then at this point, it's all about f-stop and focal plane. So when you're taking these pictures, you have to experiment a little bit to see, since you're so close to the subject, your focal plane is going to be right in the middle of the subject, or you can choose to have it in front or behind. And when you do that, you're going to lose the focus on some parts of the shot. So you make adjustments. You look at the distance that you're going to be from the subject. For instance, my 90 millimeter, I can take shots out to infinity, or I can select it to go from like 1 foot up to 3 feet. And then I have to position my camera so I'm that distance away from the subject. And I adjust and then repeat. And so you change distances, you change your angles, always looking at what you shot through your camera. Then adjusting the f-stop. So if you go to like a 2.8, you might get a lot of blur in it, and you don't like that. So, okay, bump it up to a 4 or an 8 and see if everything is coming into focus for you. And then refocus the camera and keep trying to find that spot. Sometimes when doing it freehand, you have to set the focal plane and then bob your head up and down, or move forward or backward just a hair bit until everything comes into focus. And a lot of times they recommend going from automatic to manual focus. And this helps solidify or fix the focal plane that you're going to use. So after that, you've taken some pictures. Now you go to your Lightroom or Photoshop, and this is just a brief rundown of making a composite image. So you've set your camera up on the tripod, you're using your rail, you take multiple shots of the subject, then keep changing that focal point, moving it around, and then you merge them in Photoshop. And there's a whole class on that. So I won't delve into the intricacies of that right now. And these are some examples of what macro photography will look like. You can take toys. I have a lizard.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Awesome.
Are these your pictures?
These are free pictures off the internet.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I put this one in there for Amy, but she didn't show up today. So here's your assignment. Go on Amazon and purchase the following gadgets to enhance your photography equipment portfolio. Got to have some extension tubes. You need a close-up lens filter. Got to have a 90 millimeter macro lens. Get yourself a focusing rail. Get that Bluetooth remote and a tripod and head on out. Let's take some pictures. And I'm just kidding. And that's the end. I guess it was a lot shorter than 20 minutes, huh?
But it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
A Bluetooth remote. Do they have that for most cameras? Or is that just a Nikon product?
Oh no, they have aftermarket remotes. They have all kinds of stuff. I wish I could find my mouse here.
It's interesting that you're talking about all that external and additional equipment. I was on YouTube and looked up macro photography, and this gentleman said, I'm going to show you the easiest, quickest, shortest way. And then he went on to talk about 20 different lenses and all the gadgets. And I'm thinking, simple? It was,
Oh
it
yeah,
was hilarious.
Yeah, it is funny. I don't know what I've lost my mouse here for some reason.
Well, if you want the complicated version, you need to talk to Douglas Moody.
Oh, yeah.
He's our macro expert, and he's got everything under the sun for macro. And I find I had for several years a 90 millimeter macro lens, and I finally decided it was such a pain in the butt to use, I sold it. And I do all my macro, like I said, now with, I call it pseudo macro, but by using my telephoto lens, finding the right distance and stuff, I get photos that I'm more than happy with that kind of fall into the macro class.
Mhm.
Another,
Steve,
huh?
Steve, can
Yeah.
you get rid of this thing? I can't undo this. I can't
Sure.
stop sharing. Can you do it? I don't know what the heck I've done
Yes,
wrong.
I can.
Well, that was still a good lecture. Thank you. Because I learned something
Oh, you're
new.
welcome. Thank you for listening.
I was looking at YouTube videos for macro since you were going to be doing this. And like several other people have found, most of them talk about gadgets and focal length and all this. I found one I really liked by this lady, and her macro
Finally.
photography, huh?
I'm talking to myself. I finally got out of the darn thing. I don't know what I was doing.
Okay. So anyhow, she said she talked about when she went to learn macro photography, the instructor gave the class an assignment. And without going out and buying following Kevin's advice, no equipment, just go out and sit down somewhere for 30 minutes and figure out how many macro photos you can get of blades of grass, flowers. So I thought that was an interesting concept.
Yes.
Well, this Friday, speaking of events, we're scheduled to go to the gardens and shoot macro photography.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will bring all of these toys that I've managed to collect, and you guys can see what they are. Of course, I have the best camera system of all, the Sony, and you know, I'm thinking of going by Eric's at Tuttle's and see if he'll let me borrow a couple of cameras, just to put these attachments on and show what the effects look like. They are kind of unique. I really enjoy them. You know, if you're just walking around, they're not really for street photography per se or landscape photography, but certainly being at the gardens, we like to take pictures of the flowers close up. At least that's something I've been enjoying. And then there's just a whole plethora of things to do out there. I watched one presentation where a guy took macro pictures of bubbles, and he set up a tray with some soap, water bubble blowing soap, and he had a little light cube inside there, and he was putting different colored lights from the LED light setup he had, And then he was taking macro pictures of that, the light going through the bubbles and the water droplets. It was amazing. Just beautiful, beautiful photography.
Kevin, how are the flowers at the garden? Are they a lot of them there?
There are a lot of flowers there, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
It's not spring, but there's a good supply of flowers. Roses always are blooming. There's different things there, but I think we should talk about about meeting there on Friday. There is a car show. It's in Lot B, which I think is the lot behind
Yes.
the building. Is that correct?
It's
Big
the,
lot in the back. Pardon?
Lot B isn't it by the spinal cord, or, it's in
No,
the
it's the
front?
lot of the egg. It's in front of the egg, the primary.
Yeah, it's in the
Oh, was
front.
that Lot B there? Because when I look at the map, that says that's C and D.
No, it's B is in front of the egg.
Oh, because I couldn't find B. Okay. So then we won't be bothered then that much back where we're at. But, people might want to jump up there and see the car show. So,
Kevin, one thing that I used to have that you did not mention are bellows.
right.
I had a set of bellows where I could put the lens on one end and the camera on the other and adjust the distance between the lens and the sensor that way.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. That's, I thought about doing that. I also have what's called a lens reversing ring, where
Okay.
you can open up the aperture on the lens, and then put it backwards in front of the lens. So I have a 90 millimeter macro, and I could mount a 50 millimeter lens backwards on front of the 90 millimeter.
Wow.
And if you think how the camera normally shoots, it picks up a large object and makes it smaller on the sensor. So when you reverse it, you're picking up something small and making it larger on the sensor when you reverse the lens. And so it's a lot easier to do, or was a lot easier when we didn't have all the electronic lens controls. The deficit is, how do you open the shutter and keep it open when you turn the camera off? So, but anyway, I'll have one tripod. If people could bring their tripods, maybe we could do something with the rail. You can mount your camera on the rail and the tripod and take 4 or 5 pictures of your subject, and then take them back and process them. Go watch YouTube videos on photo stacking in Photoshop, and see how you produce. See what you come up with.
Yeah, we'll be working on that a week from Friday. That will be our
On the lab on the 17th.
Yes. Steve, are you going to be there that day?
No, we're leaving the country. We're going to Sacramento to be
Yeah.
with my son. We're going to do Thanksgiving.
That's nice.
So
So-
I won't be there.
Okay.
The day after Thanksgiving that we're going to be doing that?
No, that would be the week before Thanksgiving. We won't be meeting the day after Thanksgiving. The week of Thanksgiving, we won't meet.
So this coming Friday, what are you guys doing?
We're going to the garden
Okay, the
10
station
o'clock.
guard. Okay,
for macro photography shooting.
okay.
And some of us are going to meet at 9.
Yes.
Will Is the VA closed that day?
Yes,
Yes, it is.
That's what I was, yeah, that's what
So
I
how are we going
thought.
to get into,
Oh,
Yeah,
Scott said that we are welcome to go into the
Oh,
garden. The
oh,
garden
that's gonna be-
isn't
the
blocked off.
VA has an event
Kevin,
on the 10th, right?
say that
What?
again.
There's gonna be a lot going on in the front on the 10th.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the car show.
Mhm.
right.
But there'll be plenty of parking down there.
yeah,
Down
because
below.
that's the holiday.
Yeah,
That's the day that the employees get off.
uh-huh. But they never lock off the garden. The garden's always accessible, right?
Right.
and that's where our stuff is, so.
Yeah,
I was
and
worried about
Kevin
the
put
one
it-
thing.
Kevin put it in a place where it would be accessible.
Okay,
Yeah,
Kevin's already taken care of
it's gonna
that.
be locked up, but they're giving me the key.
Oh, okay.
God bless you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And again, we're just looking through green boxes, right? You don't want any
Yeah.
more stuff
Yeah.
off that other card, right?
Yeah, because most of that stuff is stuff for the shows, and Linda's gonna take that. So I don't want to move it twice.
And I saw you show some pictures of cabinets.
Yeah, I'm gonna go tomorrow and work with Liz on clearing up a little bit of space for us.
Are those cabinets outside?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
leaning away from those. They're
Not go-
they're filthy, so it takes some major cleaning.
Uh-huh.
And I think the main thing we need is the computers, the cords that go with the computers, our traveling show, so to speak. So when we want to set up for the or the social connection, we just got a box there.
A few
Um,
boards, yeah.
We need one small board, one of those bags of small boards in there. And I think that's pretty much it. So we're gonna pare down immensely.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
I hear you wanted to talk about the show.
Yes. Ready for that?
Yep.
Okay, I'll go through different parts of the show, and people can make their comments of what they thought worked and what didn't work. Setup.
Well, I wasn't there because I told you ahead of time I wasn't going to, this is a lousy excuse, but I didn't want to do a 2-hour round trip drive in the morning and then again in the afternoon. But I heard that Lawrence was the first one to show up.
Oh, no.
No?
Stefan.
Oh, Stefan. Okay. And so the impression I got was not many people showed up to help you do setup.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we needed a lot more help. Yeah, unfortunately, our command strips, they were left over from before the pandemic because Craig, who was our leader at the time, was retiring. So he bought like 5 years of supplies. And then we took 3 years and we didn't do anything. And so we found out that the command strips were useless. So
Wow.
Stefan made a run for the store and brought
That's
some.
the command strips, you mean Velcro strips?
There's
What's a
strips,
command strip?
they're little strips that you stick one on the back of the photo and one on the wall, and they stick together. Yeah, we were a little bit short of what Stefan bought, so I bought a multi-size package, and these were the Velcro ones. Ours, the ones that Stefan bought were not Velcro. We'll see how they do when we go to take them down. And I'm going to talk to the company too, I think, and we're not going to buy them until we're a lot closer to our next show, which will probably be a year from now. So we need some
What
work on,
happened? The glue just cured or what?
I guess so. Yeah, they were useless.
Okay. Yeah, tape has a shelf life. Anything with, stick them on the back has a shelf life.
That's what we learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that I bought for the last couple pictures, they were kind of a Velcro like thing. You know, one was on the back and one was on the wall, but they were more Velcro. Yeah, Kevin, even some of the ones that Stefan bought were not holding. I know Doug was putting them up on, putting several of them up, and Kevin's kept falling, and I put the heavy duty stuff, so hopefully Kevin's will last the whole show now. But we probably need to consider different kinds of command strips. Okay, the Panda Garden. Comments on that?
I thought that went very
Fine.
well.
Yeah, I thought it was a great place.
Yeah, forget about it as a restaurant. It was nice, clean, good service, and we could all sit together. And there wasn't a lot of interruption, no loud music.
Very good.
Yeah,
He handled the billing very efficiently.
yes.
A short walk to the show from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely we would want to consider that. To get a quiet place is hard in that area, I think, on that day. So yeah, Lola's had a band outside and it would have
Oh.
never worked for us.
Yeah.
Okay, the show itself.
I thought it went pretty good. I had put up posters and I was pleased by the number of people that came.
Yes. I just thought that because we've always put our pictures on the boards, and this was white walls and very, very bright lights, it kind of, the ones that were too high, well, I'm so short, but you know, they just reflected a lot of light and you couldn't see them quite as well.
Yeah, the plastic sleeves we have on it, we need to probably come up with another way to, so that it's not so much of that light. Yeah.
But with the boards, they're more eye level anyway. The whole thing is lower, but everyone seemed to
Very
like it
well
that I
on his
talked to.
Stefan made quite a few sales of his stuff too. That was nice.
Say
What's
again,
that, Larry?
Okay, I muted him.
No.
Okay. I think
Catherine, this was on a personal level as far as my individual photographs, but I thought that my portrait on the bio was too dark and too yellow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, did it come out that way in the printing, or was it that way as the JPEG file?
You were the
Um,
one that gave it to me, Steve, I think you took it and you.
Yeah, that's the one we did a
process.
joint effort to try and modify it and bring it back.
I was wondering about were the plastic sleeves necessary? Could you have gone without it and just stick the print up there on the wall?
Basically what we have is the plastic sleeves hold the backboard and our print. So it's not mounted. But I don't know, in my mind, I'm thinking, what if we use some like a heat thing and shrink up the plastic so that it would seal, you know what I'm saying? Take up the extra gap, the extra loose. I don't know.
Do they
Oh,
have
it's still the-
non-glare?
Yeah, so that it's just tighter. It's kind of loose inside the plastic sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the glare would still be there because the material that it's made out of, it's a high gloss. It
Yeah.
could be a matte finish sleeve that would kill the glare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are there such things? Or is there a
I
map?
believe there would be.
We'll look for that.
What about turning out some of the lights?
Well, you did that, didn't you?
I only did one light. You said it was better, but I could have played with more lights.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I think it was a
Try the
lot
lighting.
darker in the other room.
Yes.
I was
Uh,
wondering about possibly spreading them out a little bit further apart. Like each individual grouping
Okay.
would be separated by another foot between them, maybe stretch it around to another wall a little bit.
We could have easily used 2 walls or even 3.
Yeah, we
I
used
don't think, I
2.
think that would be better having, like you said.
Okay.
Well, you guys only use one wall?
No,
Oh,
she's
used
saying
to.
3 walls. They're saying 3 walls.
Okay.
Yeah, it would next year, it would depend on how many artists we have. Because we used to have about 30, and then that's why we had the backboards. We'd have like 22, I think, fit on the wall. And then the remaining people were on the backboards. And then the backboards were taken down the next morning.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And then
There
we,
are non-glare sleep sheet protectors.
Oh, we'll check that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You
the,
always bind them up with shrink wrap.
Well, that's what I was thinking, using some kind of shrink wrap and the shrink gun, and tighten it up. But I'm glad to hear that there's a non-glare the covers.
Yeah.
What does everybody think about for that type of venue? We go 20 by 30. I think even the large size that we have kind of gets lost on those walls.
Well, we can start using a different size now. We were
we've got
cooking
all
in
those other materials.
yeah. I know. Well, we've got to kind of use up what we've got now, so
That's going to be at least 3 years.
it's going to take
Oh,
that long.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought that stuff at a fire sale. Didn't I hear that?
Hey, we were trying to, but we were looking at bulk, so that we can, have it.
Yeah, and then Craig was retiring, so I guess he didn't want to leave us hanging, so he had us covered for I think he bought about 5 years worth of
Mhm.
supplies, and then we didn't use them for 3 years because of the COVID, so
What about
Huh.
thinking about putting up a railing that has the clip that you can then clip the photo and it'll just hang down from the clip and you simply Velcro that to your wall. And that way you don't have any covering over your pictures at all. You just simply put it into it's like a clip and it'll hang there. And that way you don't have to have any sleeves or anything like that for your photographs.
Well,
Well, I think
basically,
the sleeves are
just the
primarily
print.
there for protection of the photographs during storage, taking them
Yeah.
up and
Right.
down, stacking them together. That's where the protection comes in.
Yeah, and basically, without the backboard, we just have the print itself. We were, so now there's another option. Maybe we can start, until we figure out what to do with our supply. But the black frames that we had, we might be able to consider merging over to that eventually.
There's acid-free paper that you could use for your storage.
Yeah. Well, we got options to start looking at.
yeah. Okay, anything else regarding the show? We're going to tear down, okay, we said that the 17th, which is a week from this Friday, we're going to be doing photoshopping our micro photography that we're doing this Friday. And then after that, we can go to Lola's to kind of continue to patronize the restaurants in the area. And then after Lola's, we'll go over and tear it down.
Is there any problem with leaving it up for that long?
Till the 17th, no. We have to have it down by the end of the month. We've got the holidays there, so I kind of want it done by the 17th to
Okay.
have it done.
By the way, I just did a Google search for glare-free photo sleeves,
Mhm.
and there's dozens of them.
Right.
Yeah,
That have people, Amazon has them, and Avery and Staples.
Yeah, that's what Barbara just said.
Yeah.
okay,
What Barbara just said? I wasn't.
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, well, even for prints on the wall, I've bought non-glare glass, but I didn't know about the plastic sleeves.
Okay,
Anyway, yeah, they've got them.
that's good. That would be an easy thing to remedy if we can start trying that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've been taking the pictures in and out. I mean, the sleeves are kind of getting older, and
Yeah, the sleeves probably need to be more protected. The new
thought they were-
sleeves.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kevin had mentioned buying some bins. I think the bins would be appropriate for the sleeves because they don't do so well when they're being thrown all over the place.
We should
yeah.
probably use them one time rather than try to recycle any of those, you know.
No, we haven't been recycling those.
Yeah, they have that sticky strip on the top so that they don't come loose and
Yeah,
spill out, and that's fine. But that's storage issues. But another comment I'd like to make about the show is I think we need to have a better advertising on the main, on the main door that people walk through.
yeah. Next time,
Maybe a banner or
we need
Yeah.
more of those posters. I think
Supersize
we
that-
have
that
more of those
poster.
posters, but I only brought 2 and we need more than those.
We do have a banner, you know, somewhere. Oh, no. Well,
Yeah, but I don't
well,
think the
we
banner
did
would have
have a
gone
banner.
up, but more
Yeah.
of those, the large posters.
Mhm.
I think we've got some more of those, or otherwise we need more, at least one more. to
How
put
big are
on the other
those
side of the
posters?
door?
How big are
Also,
those?
For trying to publicize the show, what about putting something in the local papers?
That's difficult with the VA. They have so many rules and regulations about advertising.
Okay,
Linda.
Well, actually, you know, since we would be off campus, that might be, you know, we can do that.
Well, I would think the facility would also have means of advertising what's going on in their facility.
Yeah.
It's the Bixby Knolls Business Association that sponsors this whole
Yeah.
thing. So I'm sure they're putting things out on their Facebook and all of that, I'm sure, but
Yeah, the
Yeah.
magic question is, did they know we were going to be there as the veterans?
What?
yes, the Business Association did. That's
did
who I've
know.
been in contact with.
Okay.
Mhm.
Catherine,
Me-
do you remember that lady that came from
From the city of Long Beach.
the city? Yeah, she was a very good contact, I thought. You got her number or her
Yeah,
name? And
I do.
He was a hustler.
Yeah.
I got the impression that she was somewhat powerless in in her job, and that she was just sort of a figurehead for the city of Long Beach wanting to start up something that honored veterans.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the
Uh-huh.
LA City
Yeah.
Veterans Commission, LA County Veterans Commission there at the Bob Hope Hall. All these governmental entities have these quote unquote positions and commissions, but they're relatively powerless. You know, they can come up with good ideas, and until they can get the coattails or you know, apron strings or whatever of a congressperson or a legislator or supervisor, they're out just flapping their jaws.
Yeah, she was promoting an event to promote veterans benefits or something. It's going to be at Houghton Park, but it's this Saturday
Yeah.
for Veterans Day. But aside from that, yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of, you know, a whole lot of what she could do, in other words.
So we, just out of curiosity, it was pointed out that the Long Beach Historical Society was right across the street,
Yeah,
that venue. Were you and I talking about that, Catherine, or
no,
somebody I was talking about? They suggested getting a hold of them and seeing if we could put up some pictures in their office spaces and stuff.
Well, is that the same place that, you know, you asked about the pictures that we took when we went to the house?
Benbridge House.
Yeah, yeah, because,
Yes,
okay. And that's right across the street from there?
correct.
The
Oh,
society,
okay,
not the
okay.
house.
all right. Well, you know, I didn't complete the video to, you know, for them yet, you know, but I didn't forget about it. It's just, it's still there. Cool. We ought to check that out.
They even have a model of the old cyclone that was down by the pike.
Oh, the old
Roller coaster type thing.
Yes,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that was called the Pike
Mhm.
roller coaster.
Okay, before we close, I wanted to share a feel-good story about our work. We have, this program's been going on for like 13 or 15 years. And in that closet, before we had a lot of the old photos that people hadn't taken, and it was piling up, and we were told to get rid of them. And so in August, I believe it was, Linda and I took the old photos to a place in Compton that deals with people, that houses people and gives them services for substance abuse and people that are on the streets, and helps move them towards re-entering society. And so these people have their own rooms. So they each got to pick 2 of the pictures, and then they had a lot left over. And so they put those in the garage, and when they get new people, they take them out to the garage and let them pick out 2 photos for their room.
Oh,
So
that's
our
nice.
work is doing something for the community as well. We're doing our
That's
small part for
Oh,
homelessness.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
No
Yes.
idea.
Very.
Where did you get that idea? Who's?
There's this guy out in front of Trader Joe's that collects money for this. He was saved through them. You know, he was homeless and substance abuse, and they helped him, and he kind of works as kind of helping now too, you know, helping get the guys acclimated. And I think he's like the dorm, whatever you call them, the person in charge of the dorm
Yeah.
when the, and you know, he's just a real personable guy. He is a Desert Storm veteran. And I've just talked to him. He's very friendly, and that just gave me the idea, because we needed to do something with those photos. And that just I spoke to him about it, and he gave me his pastor's information, and we contacted her, and so that's how it all came about.
Very nice.
Okay. So then we'll be meeting on Friday at the patient garden at 10 a.m.
Okay, so nobody will be going to the lapidary room at all.
It won't be available.
Okay, all
Not
right,
open.
okay.
Brig is gonna be closed, all the buildings are gonna be closed, but,
Mhm.
I put a notice on the, webpage. I will be at Denny's for breakfast. It's right around the corner from the VA at 8 o'clock. Anybody want to meet me there and have breakfast with me? You're welcome to join me. It's free.
Oh, that's right.
And
Okay.
where's that located? Where, I've never noticed it.
Right on PCH, it's like within a block towards Long Beach of the VA. Just go past the Bellflower and Anaheim intersection there, and you're right there at Denny's.
I like the Denny's theme. A place to sit while you eat.
Yeah, did you put the address?
I
Kevin,
put
did
the
you put-
address on the page. Yes, I did.
Okay,
Good.
I'll try and do that.
All right.
I'll be there at 8.
The best French restaurant
No,
around.
that's on November 10th.
They're doing free breakfast for veterans on the 10th. I thought it was only on the 11th.
On the 11th, that's Saturday.
yeah,
Oh,
Well, Kevin said it was free. Thank
I
you,
didn't
Kevin.
research it for nothing. I
They're
wouldn't
doing
have put it
it
up there
Friday.
if it said Saturday,
okay.
That's Saturday.
but I could be wrong.
I know you're wrong. It's Saturday.
Bring some money just in case.
If not, Kevin will buy.
Go both days, cover your bases.
Yeah,
All
Happy Veterans Day, or happy early Veterans Day, you
yeah,
guys.
happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
Thank you all for your service.
Yes.
Okay, see you Friday.
Okay,
All right, take care.
Hey,
you
bye.
too.
bye.
Bye.
Whoa, what happened here?
Well, God bless. Take care.
I lost my controls, so here they are.
Oh.